Okay, hi everybody. There's not that many YouTube videos on the VFD controllers over here and how to program it with the manual. There's a lot of actually videos out there how to program the VFDs, but they're in Pakistan or Iranian or Filipino or languages, and if there is any English videos out there, they're not in any detail on how to really set the parameters up for let's say you have an induction motor. I have a 3-phase induction motor. Wash machine motor is it's connected over here to the input over here to the VFD, and then it goes to the back of the induction motor, the 3-phase induction motor, wash machine motor. But this is how you do it with any other motor, and I've got it set up over here with my system. But I want to show you here, and now 91.5 is where I got it set for whatever I wanted to do. I'm going to go back down to 0. This is already programmed. It is already programmed already. You can plug it. You can program it for 110 volts, 120 volts, or for 220 or 380. All right, you can do that over here. Now here's it's on chapter 2 over here with this VFD frequency drive controller. Okay, VFD stands for variable frequency drive controller, more or less. Okay, but this is how you do it. Okay, now it took me quite a long time. I couldn't figure it out, whatever it is, but I figured it out myself. As you see over here, it starts over here with the manual, right? It shows basically, it says parameters, range, default code, so on, 2-phase. You got to follow these. So he says P00 on the left hand side, P01, P02, P03, P04, P05, all the way up, P11. Then it goes down over here to P12. Same thing, P12, right? Then it goes P13, P14, 17, 18, 22, and it skips. Sometimes it'll skip one. It says 20, 21. Well, actually, hang on a second. It's on 13, 14. There's no 15. There's no 16 either. 17, 18. There's no 19. Skip to 20. But you just kind of like, just carry on. 19 is just 19. Just leave it the way it is. I'm going to show you what I mean by leave it the way it is. 20, 21. And I go all the way down to pretty much, I go down to 32. And that's where I stop. I don't need to carry on anymore and go into any more big details. I go right to about 32, and that's it. And pretty much my frequency is, my frequency that I want is 400. That's what I want. I want the maximum rotation for, actually, see it says over here, it says maximum voltage, P00, either 0, 220, 380, 220 to 380 volts, right? I can adjust that. I can adjust this if I wanted to, but I don't want to, right? And then reference frequency, 0 to 400, okay? Intermediate voltage, intermediate frequency, 0 to 400, right here. And that would be P04. Minimum voltage, minimum frequency, maximum operating at P06. Minimum operating 0 to 4, minimum operating, right, right, okay, where is it, maximum voltage, right over here, is P00, okay, then it goes, on the other side, P26, working frequency 0400, so 400 means that I'm going to be, actually, my RPM is going to be going, actually, to the highest that it can go, okay. The highest that the RPM can go. Revolutions, so, yeah, okay, so, let's see over here, does it say maximum, maximum P06, right here, P06, maximum operating, more or less like speed, 0 to 400, and that's in the parameter range of 400 hertz. We are talking about. Okay? we are talking, I would imagine hertz. Well, this is hertz over here too, but when I get to, see, I can adjust this on my variable frequency drive. Let me switch hands. See, in my variable frequency drive controller, see, I could switch this to 23 hertz, 29, all the way up to 400. Frequency of 400. Now that is damn fast. That's like 16,000 RPM that this induction motor can go. Okay? So anyways, now that we got that all out, I wanted to show you how we can program this. Okay? So, this is how you do it. And then we're going to be following the chart over here, okay? Following the chart. So, we go into program. See how it says P000? Right? Well, P0000 over here means 220. Okay? Means 220. That means this. Now, but if I want to change it, I could change it. Now watch when I go over here and I go, okay, function, right? It's going to give me the 220. Watch. 220. There it is right there, right? I just go accept it. I press it again, function, and it moves to the next parameter, which would be P001. Now watch, I'm going to accept it by hitting the function key, end. See where it said ended? Now it's going to P1. P01 over here says, I'm trying to read this, says reference frequency 0 to 400. Okay, P01. Now watch. I'm going to go to function. It should go to 0 to 400. 400, there it is. I'm going to press the function key again, and it'll tell me that it's saving it, and it ended it, and it's going to move to the next parameter. Look at it, ended, right? P2, P002 now. Now, I go back over here, P02. Intermediate voltage, 0 to 220. Go back over here, hit the function key again, right? Hit the function key again. Look, 220 again. I hit the function key again because that means yes, I accept it. Or else I could change it by hitting the display or the up and down. Let's just okay, the display. Let's just say I want to change it. I'm gonna hit the display. It'll move the cursor to where the the display moves. See how it moved over? Moved over to the other two. Moved over to that number, and it'll carry on. That's what the display display button does. It'll curse over where you want to change the numbers. Okay, now if I want to change the numbers, I don't want it 220. I want it to 110. Well, here's the up and down cursors, right? Now look, see? I went to 220. Well, it's giving me 220 because it's not a lot. Well, oh, hang on a second. Okay, so it's giving me 220, which it should have anyways. Let's go to display. Let's go to display. Okay, yeah, right. Now watch. When I hit the cursor, when I hit the up and down, see how it actually doesn't want to give me that. It doesn't want to change the number because I guess it has actually detected. It has actually detected the frequency. Okay, well, we're going to accept it, and we'll move on. We're going to accept the 220, okay? Ended. P03. Well, that was a test right there, right? It says P03. P03 means 0 to 400. I guess it's going to keep it still. So let's see if I can change to 400. 396. Well, I don't want 396, right? 396. I don't want 396. It should say 0 to 400 right here. P06, right? P06. Or I could change it. See? 0 400. And that's at 65 hertz. Let's see if I can change it. By hitting the display, it'll move the cursor over, and I'm going to hit the up and down. See if I could, look, it goes back down, right? To 3, to 2, to 1, to 0. I'm going to hit the display again, this display, to move the cursor over to the 9, and I want to see if it can make it to 400. Doesn't allow me to make it to 400. Right, maybe if I go to 0, okay. I want to move the display over, cursor, and move that over with my finger. Maybe it'll go 400. Doesn't allow me to go to 400. But it allowed me to go back down. Well, it won't allow me to go. Well, let's just see. Hang on a second. Let's just go here. Let's just see if this will work. Well, that's going to take me a long freaking fucking time to actually go there. I'm just going to bring it back to 0. But I did this already. I'm going to go there, see if I can move it up. It won't allow me to go more further than 3.9. That's weird. But I have a feeling that if I bring this down, right, and go back over one at a time, let's see if it'll climb. I'm doing this one at a time now, and I'm going to try to get to 400. I'm hitting it with my finger up and down, 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 up and down. I'm already at 385. Remember, it wouldn't allow me to go more. 396. That's all it's allowing me to go. Right? But I'm going to accept the 396. So I'm going to hit back the function key, and it's going to hit end. And it saved it. I mean, I'm at P4 now. P4 means minimum voltage over here, 220. Okay? 220, 0, 220. But this is how you change the voltage, the minimum voltage, whatever it is. But I guess since I'm actually plugged into the transformer over here down the bottom, which is actually giving me 220, it's a step up and step down transformer that is actually shooting 220 right now from 120 from the wall. So that's why it's in this range, because I wanted to actually blast off. I want the maximum RPM. So P4 minimum voltage is 220, and let's see what it says. Okay, I'm going to hit the function again. It's giving me 220. Yes, and I accept that. I'm going to hit enter. The function button again, and it goes to end, and it moves on to the next parameter, which is P5, P6, P7, P8, P9, P10, 11, 12, all the way up to 32. So this is what I'm doing. So I'm on P5 right now, right? So I'm going back over here, verifying P5, minimum frequency, 0 to 400, back, hit the function key again. P5, 0, minimum function, 0 to 4, and it's at 0. Can you believe that, right? It's at P5 is at 0 to 400. How come I'm not at 400? Right? I should be at 400. I don't know. Right? You would think that I would be at 400. Right? That's 80. 200. And 390. Doesn't allow me to get to actually past the 400. I'm going to accept that. Okay? I'm going to accept that 390 where it says P5. P5 was minimum frequency. But it's at 0. 0 was default. You know what? I'm going to go back down to 0 because I'm going to go back down to 0 because it was working fine for me, and I don't know. I'm going to keep it at that. Okay, I'm going to keep it at that. And that was P5. And I'm going to save it. Because it was working for me there. If I change it, I won't remember. But I can always go back and find out what's going on. Now it's at P6 again. P6, so you basically got to go through these. P6, right? Maximum operating frequency. 0 to 400 at 65 hertz, right? 65.0 hertz right here. That's what it says. So I'm going to go function again, which means enter, right? Watch. Enter. It's 0, 400. And that's what I want, right? And I'm going to press the function button again, which means enter it, save it, and then it's going to go end, and then say more or less like move along, like to the next parameter. See, it saved it and ended it, moved to P7 now. And I do I do this all the way down the line, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to show you guys what I'm doing. I'm not going to talk about it because I'm going to be talking about it all the way up to P22. Okay, I'm on P7 right now. And if you got the manual here, you can follow along with me. I'm just going to talk about it. I'm not going to just show it and slow it all down that side, because you can follow with me. Okay, now you know how to do the up and down and the cursor to the display. The display will move the blinking number over to wherever you want it to go to change the number. The up and down arrows will allow you to move the value of the numbers up and down, okay, from 39 to 40 to 39 to 55 to 65, 75, 85, 90, and all the way up or all the way down. These are the up and down numbers. The display actually gives you basically to move the cursor over, right, over to that number to manipulate the value number. To say you're on 0, or you're on the 10th number or the 100th number. Okay. Just if you don't understand, watch the video and repeat and watch the video again and watch the video again and watch the video again. Okay. So I'm on P7. I haven't touched it yet, and I'm not going to go through this step by step anymore. I'm just going to continue on, and I'm going to read it with you. I'm going to read, and I'm going to talk about it, and I'm just going to basically show it right here so you can see my fingers, and I'm going to read what is over here, what is going on over here, all the way up until I finish the 32, which will be the last one. If you got the same VFD controller, whatever it may be, you can follow the same way that I'm doing, but they're pretty much all the same, these VFD controllers, okay? So I'm on P7. So P7, I'm going to hit P7, okay? So, okay, it says minimum operating, okay, 0 to 400. I hope I have it on 400. And I got it on 0. I'm going to leave it on 0, okay, because it was working perfectly fine to me. And I'm going to go save it by hitting the function, enter, and hold 9 yards. Ended. I'm moving to P8. P8 says high password 0 to 65555. I'm going to hit it. It's at 0. I'm going to leave it because I don't want to change the password. P9, so the input password. It's probably going to be at 0. And it's at 0 because I didn't change anything of the password. Okay, P10. P10 is working frequency source. I've got 1. And on the default, it says 1 on the page. 0 is panel keyboard, panel potentiometer, which is 1, which I got, which means the potentiometer. That means that's the working frequency source, which is this, the knob. Okay, and I'm going to accept it. Yes. Okay, P11 says start, stop, control source. It's at 0, and the default is at 0. Yes. I'm going to end and save it. P12 is stopping motors. It should be at 1, which means it's the default. I'm going to accept it, say yes. P13, braking time 0 to 2.5. Okay, it's at 0.5, which is the default value, and I'm going to say yes. Okay, P14, braked voltage. It should be at 20, which is the default. I'm going to leave it at 20, and I'm pressing the function button all the time to accept it and say enter and save. Yes. Ended, and it saved it. Moving on to P15. There is no P15, so I'm just going to actually go click, 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 and go yes, yes, yes. And ended and saved it. P16, there's no P16 on my manual. I'm just going to hit function, accept the value that it's, because I'm not changing anything. I'm going to accept the value, and I'm going to end it and save it. P17, yes, there is a P17. Machine number, I have no idea. The default is 1. I'm going to leave it at 1 and save it at 1. P18, P18 is operating arrival. I have no idea what that is. It should be at 50, at 55.0 for default. 50 right there, 0.0, and I'm going to leave it because I have no idea what that is. Ended it, and it saved it. P19, there's no P19 on mine, so I'm just going to leave it at whatever it is and save it and end it. And move to P20. P20 is over temperature protection selection. I have no idea. The actual default on the manual says 80. I'm going to leave it at 80 because I have no idea what that means and all that stuff. P21 now. Look at that. We're moving right along. Revolution for 50 hertz. You know, it's at 800. 8,000. The actually default is 0 to 8. 8 to 1,000. 0 to 8,000. It's reading 8,000 for me. 8,000 for me. I'm going to save it because I'm at the 400 hertz. P22 is carrier settings. I have no idea about that. I'm leaving that default, which is 10, and it shows 10 there. Yes, I'm saving it, ending it, and moving on to P23. P23 is frequency adjust step size 1 to 100 or 5, which is the default. It's at 5, the default. I'm going to leave it, right? Because frequency adjust step size. I have no idea what that means, right? So I'm just going to leave it at the default, end it, save it. Oh, P24. It says overload protection buffer time. I have no idea about that. I haven't touched it, like I haven't touched the other ones, and it reads at on default 3. I'm leaving it at that, saving it, ending it, and moving on to the next parameter. 25. I have no 25 on my actually manual. I'm just going to save it, look at it, and just go, yeah, save it, end it, move on to the next parameter. 26. Working frequency 0 to 400, and the default is 50. The default is 50. Okay. I have 60 here though. I have 60. So I'm leaving it at 60 because it seems to be working. But if I have to, I could change it up and down by going back to the display. By going, shuffling it over. See how I shuffled it over by hitting the display. As you can see, the blinking goes to another number. And then I can start, look, increasing the number or decreasing the number, right? And if I move it over there, instead of the 6, I can move the 6 down to 5, which that's the default. Or 4, or 3, or whatever, or 0. But since I have it at 6, and it's working fine, I'm going to leave it at 60 hertz. Okay, and that was what was it? P26, I think that was. Now I'm going to save it, end it, move to the next parameter, parameter 27, section speed. Now 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32, I have no idea about those. Okay? I haven't changed them whatsoever. I'm just going to save them, leave them, and move on. It's at 45. That's what that's what the manual says. It says yes. I moved on. Number 28. It should be the default at 45. 45, and it's 40. 28 should be at 40, and it is 40. I'm going to save it, move on. 29, exactly. It should be at 35 by the default. I'm just going to 35. There it is. I'm going to move on by pressing down the function. It means enter, save, end, and move to the next parameter. Okay, so P30. Is that what it is? P30. It should be 30. Yeah, 30. That's what it is on default. I'm going to save it, end it, move on to the next. P31. We're getting to the very end, right? Which is section speed 5 settings. I have no idea. It should be 25. And there it is, 25. I'm going to save it, enter it, move on to the last parameter is parameter number 32, which is 0 to 400, and default says 20. And there it says 20 by when I hit enter. It's showing me, and once again, guys, I could move up the value, move it down, move it up, all that kind of stuff, right? And it's 20, right? Remember, if I want to move the cursor over, I hit the display. That moves the number over. Moves the number over again, moves the number over again, moves the number over again, and I start right from the very beginning, right to 20. I'm going to save it, enter it, save it, end it, and move on. Now, once I finish the P32, boom, ended it, saved it. It wants me to move to P33. Well, I don't have time to be doing all this stuff. I just go like this. I move on to the. I hit the program button. There it is, done deal. I hit stop. Okay, and I'm ready to go. Now watch this. I'm going to bring the frequency peak geometer down to 0. I'm going to set it to 38. Hit run. And there we go, we're running. Alright. We are running. I broke the, well, it's running, believe me. Anyways, so I just want to do a quick little fast little thing that way you'll see it go to a faster speed. Watch this. I don't want to go any higher than 100 and some odd frequency because I don't have it set up. I mean, I don't have the table mounted. I'm doing this one hand. This is vibrating, but believe me, it goes to 400. This is how you actually set up your variable frequency drive. And I have to close the window over here. It is August the 5th, whatever it is, and it's a heat wave here in Vancouver. And I got the windows closed because the traffic's is so loud, and I'm starting to sweat inside here. But anyways, this is how you do it. Okay? And listen, if you have a problem, just watch the video again and again and again and again, and you will know how these variable frequency drive controllers work with the manual. Remember, right? Look at the manual. But this is pretty much all you will need to do. Okay? This is all you'll need to do. It's right here. This is the section, chapter 2, right? You just turn it on. Either you're running 120 or 120 or 220, right? With a step-up transformer, or just coming out of the wall wherever you live. Either you've got 220 automatically coming out of the wall, or you have the 120 coming out of the wall. Okay, so anyways, that's the end of my video, and this was for me just in case I forgot also too. But anybody have any problems with their variable frequency drive controllers and don't know how to change the values, here is a video for you, okay? And watch the video, share it, like it, subscribe, and tell me that, that hey, thanks a lot. Anyways, peace. There's a lot more videos coming around the corner. This is just the tip of the iceberg over here for you guys. You guys are all in for a big surprise. A very, very big surprise. Anyways, stay tuned. Peace. $400. Okay. Move the value right down.